Hi community of awesome, I'm Ava J and this is Bookish Pixie. So not too long ago I got this question. How do you get yourself to stick with your project and keep working on it even when you're tired of it and or have a new or better idea? So what this question is largely referring to is what is known in writer circles as shiny new idea syndrome. Shiny new idea syndrome is basically exactly what it sounds like. Partway through your first draft you'll suddenly get hit with this awesome idea, and it's like the best idea ever, and it's totally different from what you're working on now, and that idea sounds way better. Shiny new idea syndrome is also really common. But the thing to remember is more times than not, shiny new idea syndrome is a lie. That said, you shouldn't necessarily always and completely ignore it. As I don't generally have this massive overflow of ideas, the way I handle shiny new idea syndrome is I'll write down this new idea in my list of potential projects, and then I'll go back to what I was working on. But how do you know if you should pay attention to that fatigue of working on your current manuscript? The first thing you want to ask yourself is, am I tired of this manuscript because it's really hard and I've been working on it for a long time? Or am I tired of it because I've lost passion for the project? And the key here is to be honest with yourself when you're answering that question, because more times than not, the answer is just the first part of that question, namely that writing a book is hard. But sometimes you fall out of love with the project, and that's okay too. But you also want to look at your own patterns too, because if you find it's a thing for you to give up on the manuscript partway through and start working on something else, then you may want to reanalyze the answer to that question. Look, I'll be honest with you. Writing a book is hard work, and sometimes it requires writing when you don't want to. The last manuscript I first drafted, which was just a couple months ago and was my 17th manuscript, the first draft largely felt like a slog, and I really struggled through it. And what's worse was I had two other ideas that I wanted to work on a lot more than that project. But I had to remind myself that I loved this current project I was working on, and even though it was hard, I loved the characters and the story, and I wanted to finish it. What's more, that project had deadlines that the other projects didn't. And I had to remind myself that those other projects would still be there waiting for me when I was done with the higher priority project. Writing, especially as a career, requires self-discipline. It's not always easy, and it's not always fun, but it's necessary. So that's what I got for today. If you liked what you saw, don't forget to subscribe and comment, and I'll see you guys next week.